Welcome and thank you all for attending the first official TORA General Member Virtual Meeting. My name is Erica Marquez from Warren Industries. I'm your TORA Select Committee Chairwoman. I would like to take this opportunity to quickly introduce you to your TORA Select Committee members. These volunteers commit so much of their time and attention to better the industry and serve as the track, off-road, and deep voice within SEMA. They're asked to take off their company hats and set aside their own agenda to collectively address the challenges and opportunities confronting our member businesses. Your Select Committee leadership is as follows. Troy Wirtz, your chair-elect from DC. Catherine Reinhardt with Four Wheel Parts. She is your past chair. And your Select Committee members are as follows. Andy Morgan from Keystone Automotive. Chuck Morrison, Truck in America. Chris Fairless, Hypertech. David Ayers, the AAM Group. David Williams, Gore Rhino and Big Country. Dustin Drusedo, Four Wheel Performance. John Rosenbaum from Chuck's Trucks. Christina Coburn, Truck Hero. Matt Riesener, Rollin Lock. Mike Hallmark, Hellwick Products. Randall Spear, Dana Inc. Cherry Colleen, Ford Motor Company. Wendy Miles, The Shop Magazine. So, and last but not least, I also would like to introduce you to your TORA Council Director, Denise Waddingham from SEMA.
Well, thank you, Erica. My name is Troy Wirtz. I'm with DZ Manufacturing here in Des Moines, Iowa, and wanted to just basically welcome all of you for attending today and taking time out of your busy schedules. I know it's been a disruptive year and a lot of challenging things going on for everybody in the industry. So I think we've got a good program put together for you today. You're going to learn a little bit here about the SEMA Show, what the background of what's taking place, and then specifically dive into what we're doing at TORA to help make your businesses thrive. So with that, I'm excited to hand over the reins to Tom Gattuso. He's with SEMA, very dialed in on what's going on with the program and the atmosphere. So with that, thank you, Tom, for being here, and I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thank you, Troy. We really appreciate the opportunity to talk at this general membership meeting with TORA and give an update. There's been a lot that's been going on, and as we're following the show through the iterations of this 2020 year, we're seeing us do a lot of planning and a lot of parallel planning. We did make an announcement last week that the show will not be going forward as we had planned in November in Las Vegas. And it was the culmination of months and months of work. We did a lot of work from a safety perspective. We did a lot of work from a preparation perspective. But we were working with Las Vegas and specifically the regulators in that city to see if there was going to be a clear path for us to be able to host an event. And as we got to the 120 to 90-day window, we really needed some assurance from Las Vegas that we'd be able to host the event at a size that was going to be able to serve our industry adequately. And we weren't able to find that clear path. So our board of directors at SEMA made a tough decision, but I think it was the right decision to help our members by not having them invest in something that was really uncertain. And just to put it into context, right now, a maximum of 50 people are allowed to congregate in any given space in Las Vegas, and we needed that to be much larger. So we made the decision to stop producing the November event, and it was really designed to help our members that were making investments in the show and making investments in coming to Las Vegas with an uncertainty of getting a return on those investments. We wanted to close the loop on that and make that decision so that that money and that effort and time and energy could be saved. But I will share that we've been working on parallel paths as early as April and May on other scenarios. And we do have some digital solutions that we're going to be presenting to the board of directors for SEMA on Monday that really identifies an opportunity that's happened with the week in Nevada. And if you can think of what the SEMA Show is, it's not just a trade show, but it's this week of connection and networking and sharing ideas and innovation and passion about an industry. And when the show wasn't going to happen, that need and that void is still there. So we do have some alternatives that we're going to be presenting in the coming days, where we're going to have some solutions that are going to help some of our member companies be able to introduce new products and feature some vehicle builds and that type of thing. But also our industry buyers are going to be able to connect and see where the trend lines are going with products and vehicles and what new products are looking like, and make some connections with buyers. So we're excited. We're at a place right now where I think we're 81 days away from November 3rd, and it's been quite a year, but we've been able to stay energized and focused, because really our main purpose is to help our member companies succeed. And as we were doing this, we were taking this trade show concept and evolving it into an on-site or an outdoor or a virtual or any number of things. So we're working on your behalf behind the scenes a lot of times where you don't know it, but we're working on your behalf to really be able to serve the industry and push this passion forward and this connection that happens within our councils and networks in our show to make sure that we're serving the industry the right way. So that's really an update for the show, but I did want to make myself available for any questions that may be out there with regards to the show. And there's an opportunity where you can submit your question in the chat box, and we'll take a minute here just to see if questions do come in, but we'll also have a Q&A period at the end for the whole rest of the presentation, and we can also loop some show questions into that as well. All right, I'm seeing that there's not any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Erica and Troy, and let you continue the meeting. But I will be here, and we'll be here at the end for the Q&A. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Can you put my video cam on there, Gary? It's Troy. There we go. Thank you. Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. We really appreciate that information. I know I've been fortunate enough to kind of be around the board. I got to sit in on a board meeting there earlier this year, and I got to tell you something. The board and the SEMA organization, they got some serious dedication to taking care of all of you, the members of the SEMA organization. So I really, I do commend Tom, you and the whole group for all your efforts and what you've done. And I know whatever you end up with here after your Monday discussion will be advantageous to all of us here out there in the industry to help us jumpstart ourselves into a successful 2021. So thank you very much for that. And thanks for hanging out in case there's additional questions as we come up through this presentation. With that, I will, speaking of, great events and that type of thing for you guys out there and gals, for our members, we are doing a lot with regional networking events, trying to anyway, where we can legally. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Mike Hallmark. He's actually the chair of that task force and been doing a great job, lots of work out there. So with that, Mike, welcome, and let us know what you got.
Thanks, Troy. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. As Troy just said, I'm Mike Hallmark from Hellwig Suspension Products. I am the chair for our regional task force and networking events. And what our goal is there is to provide an opportunity for our members to come and network in a fun environment, to talk to old friends, meet new friends, and just figure out if there's opportunity for us to work together and help better our portion or our segment of the marketplace. Unfortunately, we were only able to have 2 shows for the 2020 year due to our current situation. For those 2 that we did, the first was at King of the Hammers. It was a great event, kickoff event with 65 attendees, which was very well received. The next one we had was shortly after that at the Adventure Expo in Costa Mesa, California, and we almost tripled the attendees with 150 attendees. It was a really good time. We typically provide food and beverage, the adult kind or the non-adult kind, depending on your flavor, but it's really just a fun environment to come in, meet new people, network, and figure out how we can promote stuff. Moving forward, we would like to keep with our face-to-face mixers in person. We find that they work best. Obviously, with the obstacles that we're facing right now, due to our current climate, we might be forced to get creative with how we're going to do that. So we are working closely with SEMA to figure out how we can adapt or evolve that to do virtual networking events. We can move on to the next slide here, and I'll talk about our upcoming events that we currently have on the calendar. Our goal is to have 6 events in the 2020-2021 fiscal year. So we're still working on some of those to round out 2020. We're looking at the Detroit 4Fest coming up in Michigan. We're also scheduled, as you can see down here, we have the Lucas Off-Road Expo in Pomona, California. That'll round out 2020. 2021, we'll be going back to King of the Hammers. It's a really good event. It's both sides of the line. It's off-road and on-road trucks. Then February, we're looking at the Lone Star Throwdown. So really focusing on the traditional road trucks that are there. They obviously have a good off-road network, but it's not that focused there. Then we'll be going to the NTEA Work Truck Show. Want to make sure we're taking care of our fleet members. Then one of the best events we had previously was Easter Jeep Safari, so we'll be there. And then, of course, Overland Expo will round out those 6 events. Technically, there's 7 there. We do have floaters because we are fluid. We're being dynamic and making sure we have enough shows out there and meeting points that we can meet our quota of our 6 meetings for the year. So I look forward to seeing all of the members at these mixers that are coming up, and by all means, please feel free to invite non-TORA members that fit within our mold and tell them to come out, come join, have a drink, and do some networking. So with that, I will go ahead and introduce to you Chris Fairless. He's with our member retention. So if you guys want to be a part or remain a part, get at Chris. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Chris Fairless here with Hypertech. I'm the chair for the retention task force, and we've been working on reaching out to our termed out members and discussing with them the advantages of being a TORA member and some of the changes that TORA has brought to the table with bringing in the side-by-side marketing market, and then also giving some additional marketing tools to get out there and meet new members and do some additional networking. So we've been pretty successful at getting some of the members that have been turned out to come back, and we're still working on the remainder of them. We're also going to start working on being proactive and working with the networking events and bringing in the people that are current members and making sure that they understand the benefits of being a TORA member and some of the opportunities they have. So what we're trying to do here is just keep them motivated, involved, and also understand all the benefits that the membership brings them. So things have been going pretty well, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody at the networking events as well. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to the membership task force chair. That's Dawson Drewsdow. And Dawson, if you're there.
Thanks, Troy. I appreciate it. Along with membership retention, recruitment is also vital to the growth of the Truck and Off-Road Alliance. And I'm here to tell you some of the benefits of your membership and to give you the tools you can use to help recruit more people like yourself into the Truck Off-Road Alliance. Being a member of TORA, you gain access to regional social networking events throughout the USA where you can gain valuable networking contacts in the industry. We've struggled with that a little bit this year due to the circumstances, but Mike's done a great job and we're hoping that that'll pick back up as soon as we get past all this. We also do a TORA member and volunteer spotlight that is run on our social media pages, pardon me, which promotes you or your company to thousands of viewers across several platforms. Our communication chair sends out a newsletter to all TORA members, keeping you updated with current events within our alliance and inside the SEMA organization. Members have access to SEMA Garage, which hosts valuable data anywhere from a platform to address challenges and find solutions to technical questions about today's complex systems and motor vehicles. Having a voice in SEMA is an important mission found within the TORA Select Committee. We're always here continuing to find ways to integrate more of the off-road segment into our community, thus ensuring that everyone has a voice within the SEMA organization. Please do not hesitate to contact me or any of the TORA Select Committee members. We're always listening so we can continue to create and add additional value to our membership. Now that I'm done with my part, I'll introduce our fearless leader, which is Erica Marquez with Horn Industries.
Thank you, Dawson. I'm here. Well, thank you, everyone. Your communications task force chair, Christina Covern, couldn't be here, but she's doing a great job leading these task force. And I just wanted to give you an update on what she's been working on. She's been working hand in hand with the SEMA PR and SEMA marketing department, and they've been doing a great job informing you guys what's going on with TORA and what events are coming up. We are doing feature member spotlights. I don't know if you've seen those in social media, but also on the SEMA e-news. Every week we were spotting a person that has been serving the industry. We also been doing SEMA e-news articles. We do have an email blast going out to all of our memberships, the TORA member updates. So if you are not subscribed to that, don't forget to subscribe, send us an email, and we'll put you in the list so you'll get these updates every month. And also we do SEMA news articles on the SEMA magazine. Next slide, please. So social media, we do have the Facebook social media and Instagram. So you can see our addresses are there so you can sign up if you haven't followed us. That's where we supply all the information that we're doing, especially all the regional events that are coming up or going on. We go through that and inform you guys in social media invitations, and also we post pictures of everybody attending as well as all other events. We are looking for assets, so if you guys have any events going on from your company, please feel free to contact Christina or contact me directly or Denise, and we'll be super happy to post information on your event. As a TORA member, everybody can use these social media outlets to promote what we're doing. Also, if you want to see something specific that you would like us to do, please feel free to contact us and let us know. As I said, we're always looking for assets and content to promote who is TORA, and everybody here is TORA, our memberships, and all of the companies that are TORA. And this is just an example of what we're doing on the TORA member spotlight. We are currently looking for more spotlights. As you can see, there's a few examples of members and volunteers that have done great contributions to the industry. You guys can be part of it if you've been a volunteer of some of the task forces, if you've been a volunteer of SEMA. It doesn't have to be directly TORA. If it's SEMA and you are included in any other of the select committees, or if you are part of a network, we'll be very happy to feature your spotlight. So please send it over, and we hope to see you working with us directly. With this, I'm gonna turn the next slide to Sherry Colleen, and she's your task force chair for education and technology. Here you go, Sherry.
Thanks, Erica. Hi, everybody. Sherry Colleen from Ford Motor Company. As Erica said, I lead the Education and Technology Task Force. And some of you may know that our goal as a task force is to stay informed on new vehicle technologies and regulations in order to cascade that information to you guys of TORA and offer informational seminars as well. So real quickly, I'd like to just share with you some of the things we're working on. And those are the truck builder webinar, and that will include a panel discussion from the off-road industry, as well as we're working on a virtual technology briefing session that will focus on off-road performance and technology and lifestyle trends. I would like to also remind everybody to check out some of the past resources, or I'm sorry, past ADAS resources that were recently held. You'll see the links here, and I know that they'll be cascaded out after the meeting. So keep a lookout for any of these events coming up. I would also like to remind folks if there's any topics that you feel that we should look into and reach out to the other industry folks and would like us to bring that to the table to discuss, just reach out to me and I will look into it further for you with the task force. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Troy to talk about TORA awards.
And thank you, Sherry. It's Troy. I'm back here again. Hey, you know, one of the things I wanted to talk about today for a little bit is the TORA awards. It's one of my favorites, although it's hard for me to pick what is my ultimate favorite within TORA, but this is one of them. And we typically do the award ceremony during the SEMA show, during the TORA reception that we actually hold on Wednesday evenings. It's mark your calendars because we do it every year, other than we will not this year, but we really have a good time with that. There's free drinks, free appetizers, do the Pinewood Derby. We generate a ton of cash there on that deal for donations for a great cause. Thanks to all of your help and participation. So we really have a good time there. But during that show, and what you're seeing here for a picture there is Erica and myself with Joel Ayers, and he got the award, and it's right there. We have a great time with that. But during the awards, what we do this year is going to be a little bit different. We are going to elect a person for the TORA Hall of Fame. Now, nominations we're due in on August 3rd, so that's already been taken care of. But with that, there'll be a task force that will review that, and ultimately there'll be a person selected for that. It's a great honor. Obviously, any of these awards that we have is really you've got to do some nice things, some good things for the industry, and you're rewarded for that. So we appreciate things when you do that. So the TORA Hall of Fame, we will have that. We will also be choosing a TORA Retailer of the Year, which lots of different criteria that we have for details. I didn't bring it here for this slide, but the criteria to meet that is it's pretty detailed, and we do elect a company every year. So we're doing both of those virtually this November. And the ones that we're going to move into 2021 is going to be the new the Jesse Combs Ambassador of the Year Award. We actually came out with that one, or the group did elect to go with that to replace the Ron Webster Memorial. So this is definitely to, the loss that we experienced over Jesse this year. We wanted to come out with this one for the ambassador, and we will pick somebody in 2021, and that'll be a pretty special moment. The other one that we will be picking in 2021 is the TORA Influencer of the Year Award. That one, we'll choose, and we will share that information at the reception in 2021. And we're also, with the people that get picked for TORA Hall of Fame and the Retailer of the Year, we're going to bring them up on stage in 2021 for the recognition. So 2021 is going to be an exciting year for us to get back in the groove and get after it, the reception and the awards and that type of thing. So we're really looking forward to that. With that is pretty much all I have to say about awards right now. And you're going to get to hear from me one more time there towards the end of this presentation. But for now, I'm going to hand it over to Wendy Miles, who takes care, she's the chair of our volunteer opportunities. This is where you actually get involved. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, Wendy. Thank you. Wendy, you're on mute. You'll have to start over, Wendy.
And you've kind of heard the mission of each task force. If you're interested or passionate about any of those things and you'd like to volunteer with TORA, or even just ask more questions about what it is to volunteer with one of the task forces, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll kind of give you a call and we'll talk about some of your interests and experience and kind of figure out where the best fit is for you. It's a little bit, I describe it as kind of an awkward job interview, but we'll have a good time and kind of figure out what we can do. And with that, we'll take you back to Erica Marquez, our chair.
Hey, Wendy, real quick, I think there was still a portion of your very beginning part that I couldn't hear. So I'm going to guess that maybe some of the other people on this didn't hear it as well. So you could repeat just the beginning part, make sure they know their opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, no, really, the beginning part was just kind of introducing or bringing back that everybody's had a chance to listen to what each task force does. And since everybody has had a chance to hear that, if you were interested in being involved in one of those task forces, go ahead and reach out and we can talk about what volunteer opportunities are available.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Well, I think this went too fast. So I'm hoping that everybody had the opportunity to pay attention to all of the task forces. We reorganized last year, the TORA. When we created TORA, we reorganized and created task forces and subcommittees to make sure we cover everything and all the needs of the industry and the segment. We didn't only want to continue supporting the truck and Jeep, we also wanted to expand to the off-road and all those companies that currently are not finding a home in the off-road industry, but within SEMA, we wanted to give them the opportunity to be part of TORA. So that's the reason why you see all these task forces, and we're hoping that we are doing what you guys need, but if there's something else that you guys would like us to do and to get into, please let us know. So we're hoping that this presentation is helping you guys at least understand what we're working on, but also to get any suggestions. And with that, I only see a question on the chat. So you guys, we still have some time. So if there's anything else that you would like to learn about us, any specific to the task forces or just TORA in general, and also about the SEMA Show, which is very important because, I mean, as you know, everything is fluid right now. And since we're not going to see each other in Las Vegas, maybe there's a lot of people that would like to make some questions. So I see one right now for Tom Gattuso, and the question says, what about having events at the Mint 400 UTV World Champions? Oh, I'm sorry, that was not for Tom. There was another one for Tom that I saw earlier. Let me see.
Erica,
Just give me a second. Yeah, let me go back.
Inquired about outdoor alternatives. And I'll address that one.
Perfect.
There was a parallel path we were working on for outdoor alternatives, and we haven't scrapped that, but there's just not a clear runway right now in Las Vegas to be able to do it. So One of our scenario plans was to try to move the show completely outdoors and kind of follow a trend that restaurants in California are doing. And it made its way around in Las Vegas as a viable option, but it really didn't change the outlook of groups congregating. So I'll say at this time, there is not a plan for an outdoor event to happen that's SEMA Show centric, but you never say never. We're 81 days away, and if something happens, we're always open to listen. But right now, the focus is to stop working on the November event and really look at what we can do to help our industry through a digital solution if that comes to pass.
Yeah, I think one of the things that stood out to me, Tom, in one of the conversations was it's really about the accommodations for all the people that come to Vegas and what are they going to do? You know, you can only like 50% capacity in the restaurants, 30%, I've heard 30% as far as gambling goes. So it's kind of like we can't all, you know, leave the show and go home to our hotels and cook our own supper. So it's really about how are they going to feed everybody and accommodate that. So that's where a lot of the challenges you guys have run into at the SEMA for the SEMA show, right?
It was interesting, Troy, because based on what we were anticipating, we felt like the city would adequately be able to accommodate the hotels and getting people on and off campus. And we had a great plan in order to keep the campus safe. But we just kept running into this large gathering limitation. And we were looking for some clear direction that we could head, where we could not necessarily make a guarantee, but have something better than a guess into assuredness. So I think it was a fluid environment that we were in. And it's interesting because if you go back, I think we're 81 days away right now. If you go back 80 days, Las Vegas was looking really, really good. You know, they had low testing and low positivity, and it was looking really good, but it changed in the end of June and through July, and it just got the outlook weird. But we were pushing hard, and we were doing it for all the companies because we know how important this week is. And one of the questions that came up was, how is TORA going to be able to recruit new members without a SEMA show? You know, it's stuff like that that really kept us motivated. But that may be for you guys to transition into that question. You know, what are you thinking about that in terms of member recruitment in a year that doesn't have a live event?
Well, I'm gonna let Dawson Drosedo to respond to that question. Dawson?
Thank you, Erica. You know, and to the question that was asked about how do we recruit without the SEMA show, Mike's worked really great on events and trying to get things put together that we're allowed to go to, because I mean, that's the thing, like Tom was saying, you know, you're looking at 50% capacity for events and whatnot. Now, SEMA, as Tom said, they're looking for, you know, other alternatives right now, and that's in the works. But with recruitment, you can always be recruiting. I mean, I think in the industry, I think of the people that I talk to on the phone on a daily basis, and I talk to, you know, I see other manufacturers and wholesalers and things like that. I think you should always be recruiting. I mean, SEMA as a whole is a wonderful organization. Our select committee, TORA, you know, is a great organization. I've enjoyed being in it since I came into the council, the network, and you know, just the contacts that I've met through that, you know, and listing the benefits. And if you want, you can look in the list down there below. My email's in there. I'm always available. Email me. You know, if you have a question or it's something that maybe you're like, hey, there's an event, we'll make sure we get you to Mike. Mike throws people my way, no different than, you know, Chris on retention. He's done a great job with retention, but you're always recruiting. And I hate that we're right now, you know, we're kind of handcuffed as to what we can do, but it's going to get better. We're going to all get through this, and we're going to come out stronger because we're learning new techniques. And I think we'll all, you know, be better when this is over with.
Thank you,
Yeah, we
Dawson.
used to, yeah, thanks on that, Dawson. We'd have allow members to join. We'd have an open meeting out there in Vegas, typically on the Sunday before the show started. It was, we'd have a few people come in, but not really all that well attended. I know the attendance that we have on this webinar today is pretty good. And, it's a great start to bring people together, and it just reinstate, because all of us here that are on the select committee are aware of what goes on in the TORA, on the TORA committee, and we've learned more and more as time go on. Where a lot of listeners out there were probably surprised at how many different things we have going on. It's pretty enlightening, particularly even looking at this, the way the slideshow goes. To me, it's like we got a lot of wheels in motion here, and so there's definitely opportunity for people to join in and get involved. So yeah, I think you're definitely on the right track there.
The next question, what about having events at the Mint 400, UTV World Championship, or anything on the East Coast? What do you think, Mike? Oh, you're on mute.
Muted, Mike.
Man, I was going for 100% there too. I am open to any of those events. I look at the calendar quite extensively, lay out a whole bunch of shows, and then figure out what is going to give us overall coverage for all of our members. So being Truck and Off-Road Alliance, I'm trying not to be biased to one side or the other. Anybody that has ideas for shows that they think are a good place for us to have a mixer, as Dawson said, my email is down there. Shoot it my way. We can adapt and move. A lot of the things that play into what networking events we have depends on what month they're in. Did we just do another networking event a week prior? Because there's a lot of behind the scene magic that has to happen to set up the event, make sure we have the proper food. We need catering, we need beverages. So the list that I currently have fit best for an overall schedule. I am not opposed to Mint 400. That's a great event. I definitely was doing my best to get to the East Coast. My proposed East Coast networking events just didn't line up this year. So anybody has any suggestions for shows, there's some that are always coming in. David pitched one at me yesterday. At least once a week, there's new shows coming in. So the more the merrier. Let me weed through them. And then we talk about it as a committee and figure out what's going to have the best impact and, quite honestly, is feasible for us.
Yeah, hopefully we get to have face-to-face meetings again. But when that happens, we hope we have a very good agenda and cover as many shows as we can. And I like the idea of doing off-road too, more of the off-road events besides Moab. So maybe some of the races are a good idea.
Yeah.
Next question is related to social media. Any plans for a TORA Facebook group where members can have forum-style discussions? How can members best connect with each other? I really like this idea, especially right now where we are not seeing each other face-to-face. So TORA has been very good at growing membership and community, and that's what we've been targeting the whole time, especially with all these regional events, because we think networking and knowing each other and working together is only gonna improve the industry. However, right now in this difficult time, I think it's a good idea to start some type of online forum style discussion. So I'm gonna talk to Christina about this idea, and then we're gonna go to SEMA PR and see what we can do about it. But yeah, this is kind of going in the notes for the to do, and we'll let you guys know what we can do. Any other comments? Yeah, go ahead.
We do have a TORA Facebook page that is active on Facebook. So anybody?
Yeah, no, we do.
Go ahead.
So sorry, I was gonna say yes, we do have it, but I think the question is related to have like some type of forum where members can talk to each other. So Facebook is kind of, it helps a little bit, but maybe this is more related to a forum style. So I don't know if Facebook will be the best platform, but something we can review. But yeah, Mike, we do, and I think in the slide before we posted our Facebook page address, so we can, if the members here, I think they can print out the handout that is over there on a PDF and the webcam. So if you guys want to check out our pages, you can print out the handout and get all those links and information on how to join.
Yeah, and also along with joining, Erica, I think that the people on this webinar want to make sure that you might be the person that we have your email address, but there might be, heck, another half a dozen or dozen people within your organization that should also receive the information that we send out on a regular basis. So be sure to get that information to us so that we can add them to the list, because we definitely want to share that message with as many people as we can.
For sure.
That's something I learned about the hard way over here at DZ. There was one person here that had his email within the organization, and hey, you know, if he shared it, he shared it. If not, well, we didn't know. So that's something that definitely it makes sense to share that with other people in the organization.
You know, Troy, if I could add something to that too, for all the members out there, the committee and SEMA is open to everyone. So you can, please share it with your team, because there's, sometimes you get a new guy that comes in that has got some, excitement and wants to get more involved. What an opportunity to get in there. So if you're already a member, it gives them access right away. And a lot more contacts too.
Yes. Good point.
Very good point. Question, how much time?
And they can always reach out to Wendy and get a volunteer status.
Yes.
And that's actually the next question about how much time commitment would a volunteer expect? It's a hard question though, but when do you want to try?
Yeah, you bet. So I think really it kind of is up to you. There are some things where you might volunteer a couple hours a year. If you want to get really involved with something, you might maybe volunteer a couple hours a month. It is not a huge time commitment, and it really is just kind of dependent upon where you're available and what you want to do and how you want to help. But if you are interested, just like I said, let me know, and we'll kind of put you in touch with that task force chair, and you can have a discussion with them about how it will work best.
And don't be afraid to reach out more than once. Although Wendy does have it dialed in pretty good here, so she's keeping track of people that reach out, whereas in the past, that's what created Wendy in her position with this, is in the past, some of those would slip through the cracks and people would say, hey, I volunteer, but nobody asked me to do anything. And we want to make sure it's available to you. So Wendy's doing a pretty good job following up. She keeps a spreadsheet so we can get in contact if we're in the region or at the events, that type of thing. So, but don't be afraid to ask more than once.
Yeah, and to add a little bit of what Troy said, we do have these volunteer pool, these spreadsheets where we keep names and phone numbers of people who's interested in volunteering. Sometimes there is nothing available, meaning the task forces are complete. They don't need any more help at this point. But then as soon as we get need for volunteers, that's the first place we go, and then we start calling that people. Currently, the task force chairs determine the number of people they want in their task forces, and if they need any more help, they'll come over to Wendy and say, hey, I need to talk to some people, so guide me through the list, and she'll make recommendations. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to Wendy and put your name out there. We'll really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next question, and I think this is for Tom. Will SEMA be announcing any alternate SEMA Show plans for any virtual platforms, and when will those be announced?
So the short answer is yes. We had our board meeting last week, and they made the announcement to stop working on the live event, but they did give us an opportunity to present considerations for a digital solution. So we'll be doing that this next week, early next week. And I think we'll have clear direction probably early to mid next week on where we're going. So this question does identify something that we've seen, where when the live event stopped being produced, it did create this opportunity in the marketplace where people normally were doing debuts and vehicle introductions and product introductions. And we know that, and we're working really hard to find the right thing that fits for our membership needs. So we're working hard on your behalf, and I would say next week, early to mid next week, we'll have some more news on that.
Excellent.
Thank you, Tom. Next question is related to membership. Is TORA's membership focused towards shops, manufacturers, or both? I would say we focus on both, but we also focus on other type of companies. TORA is made of retailers, manufacturers, media, and distributors. And what else am I missing? That's it, right? Distributors, retailers, manufacturers, and the media. We also have sales reps. So it's made of 5 different categories. And I would say that a little bit over 50% of our membership is retailers. So we do have a big chunk of retailers as our members. And we do try to provide services for all of them. But as we said before, we're open to any recommendations if their retailers need some help on certain something, then, or regulation or anything that they need support. We're open to hear that. Dawson, Chris, you guys would like to add a little bit more?
Well, I think it's great that we have a very diverse makeup within our TORA Alliance, because we were formerly LTAA, which was basically kind of a truck cap. So we've got a lot of manufacturers from that industry. We've got a lot of retailers from that industry, and so when we decided to, become TORA and bring in the off-road segment, to represent our Ultra 4 guys, a lot of the power sport industry. I mean, I think that's what makes us such a great group, is that we've got all aspects of the SEMA organization, and we're kind of the melting pot that's together. And so I think it's really cool for us to be able to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that too. And it's about the networking. I mean, the more people that we could network with, and have conversations about business, the better we're all going to be. We're here to help each other. And I can't stress that enough. A lot of people, they think, how do I get involved, or, the cost or whatever, but I'll tell you what, the commitment is not a big commitment. The cost is very little. And when you can have the opportunity to network with your peers and your, different segments of the market, spawns ideas, and you guys will benefit from it. So it's a really great opportunity.
Thank you for that, guys. Next question. How do we get more coverage for off-road in the SEMA media? I would say we do get some coverage through TORA, but I would agree that we probably should put more effort into covering a little more. SEMA starting to get more into the off-road, and that's one of the reasons why TORA was created. Last year at Moab, we even brought over Chris Kristen and a lot of the VPs from SEMA to check out the Moab, and they enjoyed off-roading and they loved it, and they got very enthusiastic about expanding into that. So I would agree we need to do a little more, but we are starting to. And I'm gonna send out these questions to our SEMA PR and see if there's anything else we can do to cover more. As of right now, there are not a lot of off-road events going on, but something to consider in the future. Anybody else from this select committee would like to add some more here?
Well, I think the regional events that Mike had planned that were, and that were put to a halt, we're going to help do just that. That's been one of the things that when we did the name change, and it was an extensive amount of effort to come up with the TORA name. And to do that, what we wanted to do is make sure that we included the off-road portion of it, Truck and Off-Road Alliance. And with that, that was really the launch pad, I feel, in our committee to bring in more and more of the off-road. So there's conscious effort in the regional events, how we're promoting the product or the line, to get more involvement with that off-road. And I think you'll see more and more of that just over time.
Well, this is the last call for more questions. We don't have anything else in the chat, so we still have a few minutes. If anybody else has the last question to send us over, this is the time. So I'm just gonna wait a few seconds and see if there's any other questions popping up.
And I think while we wait for that, Erica, I know you guys have probably heard enough of me, but I'll hear some more. So wanted to, point out a few things there. I'll kind of do my wrap up and final up here is, thanks again, Tom, for being on the call and updating us on what's going on with SEMA. A lot of great information there, and we appreciate that. Look forward to the new events or conclusions that come out of your next week's meetings. We'll all be paying attention for that. And then moving on there to the networking events. Thank you, Mike, for your information there. And I know you've put a lot of extensive work into getting that, you and your team, to get that put together, and then for it all to be kind of come to a crashing halt. But I'm looking forward to the 2021 year and the events that we have, and great opportunity for people to get out there to meet each other and participate. So watch for that when we get into your areas. And then Chris and Dawson, thanks for the recruitment and retention. We appreciate that, because it just needs a little bit of a shove there to make sure everybody's still signed up. A lot of things fall through the cracks. Renewals don't automatically take place, or the wrong emails happen. So definitely appreciate that. And for the members out there, be sure to send us in other emails for people in your organization so we can make sure they're a part of it. Moving on there to communications, Christina couldn't be with us, but Erica did a great job with that. You're dialed in there, and I can't stress enough. I try to do a better job with the social media personally, and I'm really not that good at it. But these guys have it figured out. So you really get a wealth of information, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. You can find out what's going on in the TORA organization, by looking at that stuff. So make sure you're signed up for it. And then Sherry, you were touching on that education and technology. As you guys know out there with the ADAS, there's a lot of changes going on in the marketplace there, and Sherry and her team are dialed in with that. SEMA's got a huge emphasis on that as well. So there's other select committees within the SEMA organization that are working on the ADAS segment of things, and that's probably a hot topic for all of you out there. So lots of things going the right direction there. Be sure to reach out to her if you have any questions. I'm sure she can help you out with that. But thank you for your info on that, Sherry. And then again, you'll see us here for the awards. We'll keep doing that. We love doing that for the membership, and feel it's very important. So we'll continue with that. And Wendy, you did a nice job on your volunteers. We appreciate that. And you keeping track of all of us doing what we're supposed to be doing. So I think with that, just want to again say thank you to all of you for participating. It's been 55 minutes of a lot of fun and a wealth of information. Hopefully you found it advantageous and worth your time to be here. There's got to be a lot of questions maybe that'll surface in the future, and feel free to reach out to us and ask them, because we want to continue to communicate with you the best we can and grow this council. So with that, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and all of you be safe out there, and look forward to when we can get together in person.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
You bet.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for attending.